Alrighty, so I'm about to go work out. So before I got all sweaty and nasty, I decided that I was just going to film a quick video for you guys. And this video is going to be the long-awaited high school advice video. So get excited for that. I am going into my senior year of high school, so I definitely cannot talk about that, sadly. But I think when it comes to your senior year, you really don't need advice on how to live it because you've already been through 3 years of high school. Once you reach your senior year, you've basically got everything down pat. And if you don't, then you might have a bad year. But for the most part, people really enjoy their senior years just because you have like such an open range of things you can be doing and working on. And you're basically just tying everything up for college. So yeah, so maybe at the end of senior year I will do a nice advice video on senior year because it is important to, you know, remember to do things you need to do and just kind of like get stuff out of the way that you need to. But let's just get started on the earlier stuff. So first off, freshman year, I get a lot of questions from upcoming freshman girls into high school on like advice and like, you know, what do I do? I'm going to a new school, blah, 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 blah. Well, for me, I went through a K through 12 program, which means that my kindergarten through 5th grade was my elementary, my 6th through 8th was my middle school, and then my 9th through 12th is my high school. So the blessing and the curse of coming into my freshman year as someone who's been to that school since kindergarten was that I did know everyone, but I also got sick of everyone. I mean, not sick of everyone necessarily, but you know, you see the same people every single day for 12 years of your life. You're kind of like, okay, well, see you later, it's time to meet some new people. Freshman year, having a lot of new people coming in and seeing everyone who's older than you, because in high school, especially for my high school at least, we all kind of like commune together. We're not really just like, oh, I'm the senior class. Like a lot of times we'll make friends, kids underneath us and the ones older than us. Like last year I had some great friends that were seniors, also friends with the people in the grade below me. So we have kind of like a very communal school, which is nice. Even though I will say that anytime a freshman class comes up, we always say that we're gonna hate them and then we end up loving them. So that's happening this year as well. Either way, coming up as a freshman, it was nice because, you know, you got to meet so many different people, try out so many different things, and like high school is just an opportunity to kind of experiment, not in like a bad way, but in like a deciding what you want to do with your life later on. So when it comes to freshman year, I would say the main idea is to just get yourself acclimated to high school. You know, make friends early on. If you didn't make good friends in middle school, your freshman year of high school is the perfect time to, because you guys are all brand new in a situation and it's really easy to make friends when you can kind of like suffer or like celebrate together, you know, like with your new year. So I'd say that's the one thing, like make friendships early on so that you can have people to support you in the bad years later on down the road. Because personally for my junior year, I hated my junior year. But yeah, if I had closer friends at that year, then I probably would have been a happier person because I could have like ranted and vented to people. Make sure that you get solid friendships early on because that's really, really important. And even if it's just one person who you know is your best friend and they're always gonna be your best friend, stick to them because that thing's important later on. You always want to have someone you can come to and be like, you would not believe what just happened, because I mean, that's my personality at least. I'm always one to complain, which is not a good thing, but whatever. Another thing is important in your freshman year is to set yourself up for success later on down the road. For me, that meant that I did a lot of pre-AP courses. I did a lot of stuff that would get me into higher classes later on. And you think, oh, AP is gonna be so hard. And a lot of times it is, but you'll get those occasional AP classes that are not hard at all to make a good grade in. At the same time, I think it's important not to overstress yourself, because I think that was the problem with my junior year. So when you're thinking forward, when you're looking at your timeline your freshman year, make sure that you're allowing yourself some stress-free time. You know, throw in an art class or throw in whatever you like. Throw in like a nature class or like an archery course, something that's easy, that's not gonna stress you out. You don't really necessarily have to take terrible courses because a lot of times the freshman courses are easier, but when you're taking those classes, think about what you're going to have to take your senior year and your junior year and your sophomore year just to make up for the stuff that you've taken this year. For instance, my sophomore year I doubled up in math so that I wouldn't have to take a math my senior year. So now I don't have to take math this year. I'm taking basically all art classes this year and it's college credit. So I kind of set myself up for success, and even though I suffered last year, you know, I get to enjoy this year, which is, I think, worth it. Another thing that I would remember as a freshman is to not be overwhelmed and following a herd, okay? Because I feel like in freshman class, you think that you're older than you are and you like want to believe that you know your opinions down pat, but for me, I didn't really grow a full like opinionated Arden until like last year when I kind of had to. Don't let yourself get swept up in things because especially freshman year, you're just like excited to be there and you're like, freshman, but you like don't have to be like that. You don't have to be that person that's like, I want to do everything, because you just don't have to. So that's kind of my advice for freshman year. That one kind of like transcended a bunch of different years as well, but mainly freshman. For sophomore year, like I said, I doubled up in math my sophomore year. Sophomore year, I think, is just kind of like limbo year where you're not necessarily a freshman, but you're not necessarily like a upperclassman. You're just kind of like there, which is not a bad thing. I loved my sophomore year, so that's great. And overall advice for sophomore, junior year is that it's okay if your friends change. I don't think it's like a bad thing to need to go into a whole new friend group or, you know, change friends completely just because you're not comfortable around your friends anymore. You know, they might just not be your friends anymore. Another thing that I think is important, especially in high school, is that you do not have to have certain people in your life just because you feel obligated to. I know that's a big problem with me, is that I'm kind of a people pleaser, so I don't like cutting people out of my life. But I feel like it's important because if somebody's not making you happy, there is no reason that you should have to, you know, be best friends with them, because you can't be best friends with everyone. That was one thing I really learned my sophomore and junior year, is that you do not have to be best friends with everyone. Obviously you want to get along with everyone. It does not mean that you have to be like local mean girl and just like cut everyone out of your life. It just means that you don't have to feel obligated to be nice and invite everyone to everything, because if you're not enjoying their company, they're probably not enjoying your company either. Because half the time people don't want to be there if they're not wanted there. I mean, it's just like a common thing. Like, I wouldn't want to be somewhere if someone really didn't want to invite me to something. And I'm just a nuisance, and I know people are going to talk about me because that's how girls are. They might invite someone, but they really don't want them to be there. You know what? People can be mean. Like, it's high school. People can be mean to you, and it's just, you never know what can be going on in their lives. So you just have to move on, not reciprocate. Obviously, if there's like a constant bullying problem, then you need to go tell someone or stand up for yourself, because that's unacceptable. I decided now, halfway through this video, that I'm just gonna make this like a total just high school advice video in general, because that is what this is turning into. It's not really turning into grades necessarily. Another important thing, boys. Oh my goodness, boys. Yes, girls, we love boys, but don't overwhelm yourself with the opposite sex. My mom always told me when I was in high school, you know, Arden, you should not have a boyfriend. Like, just don't have a boyfriend. It's totally not worth it, because things just like end up badly, and it's just stupid, and boys are 2 years underdeveloped than you, so you have no reason to date anyone who's not 2 years older than you, and then I still wouldn't want you dating them anyways. It was just always against boyfriends, even though I've had multiples in high school. But I can understand why she says that, just because a lot of times not only do they distract, but they can be detrimental. I mean, boys don't know what they're doing in high school. They may say they do, but they don't. You will get those shining stars that are really great guys at your school, and that's great if you want to go for them. But for the most part, boys need time to develop and get out of their boyness. They need to become men. So let them do their own things. Don't jump on people your freshman year, your sophomore year, because then not only will you run through all the great guys at your school, but you get a bad reputation. Even if you don't do anything with guys, you can still get a bad reputation just by dating guys all the time, being a serial dater, because I know I was a serial dater, and I totally regret it. I think that was a bad idea. And although I am kind of a guy's girl, I would rather hang out with guys than girls for the most part, but that's just because of my sense of humor. I have a different sense of humor. I mean, I work on the internet. I kind of have to have a little bit of a different sense of humor, but I would say that I wish I hadn't dated some of the guys I did, just because I think we would have been better friends and boyfriend girlfriends, and I feel like I kind of might have ruined some friendships with that. So I would say that's really important, because I don't know, it's just not fun to lose a friend just because you jumped into something too quickly. That's another thing. If a guy really wants to date you, don't feel bad about putting him in the friend zone, because you're doing him a favor. You don't want to date him and then dump him horribly just because you never liked him. If he's making advances at you and you don't really want to date him, but you just want to stay friends, it's important just to say it straight, because it saves everyone a lot of heartache, trust me. Okay, so like I said about sophomore year, make sure you get things out of the way, because junior year, I will say, was the worst year of high school for me, and that was mainly because I just took too many classes. I took too many AP classes, I took too many hard classes, and I didn't have a single art in the mix of it, which is terrible, because that is what I am. I'm more of an artsy person. I'm not necessarily an analytical person. Now I kind of am more, but I just have never been that person that can sit there and do math problems. For your junior year, it's stressful for a lot of people, just because you feel like you have to get all those credits out of the way to help your senior year, which I think I did a good job at doing that, because now I feel like I have a very easy schedule and I'm excited about the school year. But I died last year. Like, it was terrible. I hated last year. Like, I would go home and not want to do homework and know that I had like 3 hours of homework, and I would take naps, and then I would wake up at 3 in the morning just to do homework, and then I would go to school exhausted, come home. I basically ran off of caffeine and naps for like a year straight, which was not fun. I would definitely say that your junior year, take it easy on yourself. Don't feel like you have to necessarily overextend yourself. That's why I'm saying that you should really take some of your hard classes your freshman or your sophomore year, just because junior year is tough and it's not fun to go through, and it's better to just give yourself a breath of fresh air. Give yourself a study hall. I didn't have a study hall, which was one of the main reasons why I suffered, because I just didn't have time to do anything. Yeah, my social life suffered, everything suffered, just because of school. And my grades still suffered because I couldn't keep up with everything. So I would just say, be careful of that, be wary. I could be saying this, I could be saying that your junior year is gonna be awful and you guys could have like the time of your lives, and I was like the only terrible, sad, miserable creature that had to like suffer through her junior year. But for the most part, a lot of people that I've talked to have said that their junior year is their least favorite year. That or freshman year, which I don't understand because I loved freshman year. But I know the whole like fresh meat thing, it does not happen at our school. We don't do hazing or anything, so it might just be for different schools. Another thing that is great to do your freshman year, I should have mentioned this a long time ago, is to get into organized sports or get into clubs or whatever you want to do. I was in cheerleading for 3 years, and I did the French club, and I did festival for French every single year, and I entered art competitions. Like, I did a bunch of extracurricular activities. So when you look at my college resume, I put a second page on my college resume because I had so many different things I did extracurricularly. And even though maybe I took the same classes as a lot of people, it just shows that I'm well-rounded because I have a bunch of different things on my resume, not just like school, 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 you know what I mean? Because they want you to be like confident and, you know, having a bunch of different things on your college resume, not just like, I took AP every year and I killed myself from it. If you're interested in French, you join the French club. If you're interested in Spanish, join the Spanish club. If you're interested in chess, join the chess club. I kind of wish we had a chess club at our school, and we don't, and it's very sad. Join things early on, and if you're worried about not making friends your freshman year, that is a great way to make friends because you're all in the same boat once again. So totes do organized sports or like clubs and stuff early on so that you can get your foot in the door in that. And then you can enjoy it later on when you get to be in like a seniority position, when you're like a senior or junior. So my last piece of advice is going to be for us upcoming seniors. We have had a tough 3 years of high school. We have. It's been something that we had to suffer through, but as seniors this year, we have the liberty to enjoy ourselves, and that is the one piece of advice I can give to all of you seniors that are coming up, because that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to enjoy myself this year, and I'm not going to overstress myself. I'm not going to overcompensate for things. I'm just going to relax. This year is going to be fun, and it's going to be exciting, and it's just going to be a great year. Also, random little tidbit before I send you guys off, I'm definitely going to be putting up my senior pictures. I don't know when I'm getting them done yet. I literally just booked them, which is not good. But hopefully they will be done in the next like month or two, and then I will put them up and you guys can see them because I'm really excited about them. I've got a really artsy person that I want to take my pictures, so fingers crossed she will take them for me this late. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm thinking about doing a questions and answers video on high school, so leave a comment right now if you have a question about high school in general, so I can maybe answer it later and do like a part twosies of this video, because that was just my general advice, and then we can get specific in there. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to follow me on Tumblr, Twitter, Instagram, everything. Links in the description box, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!